So, Prime Minister Christopher Luxon has announced a significant cabinet reshuffle, marking the most substantial changes to his ministerial team since taking office. Shane Reti has been replaced as Health Minister by Simeon Brown and demoted from 4th to 9th in the National Party rankings, reflecting concerns about Reti's performance in managing health sector challenges, although Luxon emphasised his continued confidence in him. He's got new responsibilities for the university's science, innovation and technology and statistics portfolios. Other notable changes include Chris Bishop. Bishop's now being promoted to 5th and retains his role as leader of the House, but he's also picked up the important infrastructure portfolio. Erica Stanford rises a rank to take on the transport portfolio, and a move that has seen, no, she hasn't, yes, a move that has seen as recognition for her strong performance. Also moving around a little bit, Minister of Finance Nicola Willis, she becomes Minister of Economic Growth. The PM's also decided to bring in James Meager. If you're familiar with him, young man, the rising star, I see it. He's a minister outside cabinet, but he's going to take on Minister for the South Island and also hunting and fishing and the youth portfolios. That Minister of the South Island's newly created. He'll also be the Associate Minister for Transport. Now, Louise Upston, who I actually saw on Friday, but I'll tell you the story after this, in a social event, picks up tourism and hospitality, and she also becomes Deputy Leader of the House. Judith Collins becomes Minister for the Public Service. So if we're all keeping up here. And Mark Mitchell picks up sport and recreation and ethnic communities portfolios. So lots of handing over of portfolios and papers and switching around. But he's a busy man. And on that note, he's joining me now as the Police Minister too. Mark Mitchell, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Leah, and thank you. Now, am I really the first MP to come on the show with you this year?
You are the first MP, the first Minister for 2025.
Well, thank you, because...
No, we thought, who do we want? We want Mark. No, look, I want to... So the PM's cabinet reshuffle is the most substantial change to his ministerial team since taking office. When did you know, Mark, that you were in for sports and recreation and ethnic communities?
He called me the day before he publicly announced and informed me that I was picking up those two portfolios, which, of course, I appreciated the fact that he had confidence in me and giving me the portfolios. And now I just look forward to recreation's one that I had in opposition. So really nice to pick that back up again. And, of course, ethnic communities. Well, ever since I've been an MP, I'm heavily involved and immersed in our ethnic communities anyway. I've got the policing portfolio. Public safety is really important to them. So I think that those two sort of sit really well beside one another. I'm really looking forward to getting stuck in.
Yeah, because that's interesting if people might say Mark Mitchell ethnic communities, because if I can read you something, this is what Chris Hipkins tweeted. Ethnic communities will be disappointed to see their previous voice in the ministry ceremoniously sacked. Mark Mitchell's appointment to the role doesn't exactly scream diversity and inclusion. What do you say to that?
I'd say that Chris Hipkins, that probably I'm one of the few MPs in our parliament that has genuinely lived in most of the countries that our ethnic communities are from, worked with those communities both here and overseas. And I just think this, to be honest, I think it's a load of rubbish. I think that I'll do an outstanding job. I'm very focused. I think I've got a pretty good reputation within the ethnic communities now. And I intend to make sure that, that I do my job well and I serve them well.
Do you think, Mark, these moves, and I know you can't speak for your peers, but do you think it gives the public more confidence that the right people are in the right job? Or is it a bit concerning that some of the big names like Shane Reti have been demoted?
No, I think that you've got a Prime Minister that's just focused on results. We don't have the luxury of sitting around and waiting and taking time to do things. And he understands that better than anyone, and that's why he drives us very hard as ministers. He expects results, and actually we have to deliver results, otherwise why are we there?
Can we talk about, of course, your role as Police Minister, Mark? So firstly, I've been away for a month, and I always, when I go away from this, I kind of check out from the news because it's all encompassing. But I did, of course, see the horrific news of the death of Nelson officer Lynn Fleming over New Year's. Did you know her personally?
I hadn't met her personally. I had visited the Nelson station a couple of times. I hadn't met Lynn on either of those visits. I had met Adam, who had also been run down, and I went to the hospital to see him just before he went in for his surgery. It was just a tragic, awful way to start 2025, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Her service, the police memorial service, was very special. That was the way for us as a country and as a police service to be able to acknowledge and make a tribute to her. She was just an extraordinary lady and a huge loss for us as a country.
Staying with crime, Mark, are you happy with the way 2024 ended? Are we on the right trajectory to get on top of crime and what you wanted to achieve?